just in case. So what's happening here is a more complex version of Apocalypse from E12. So the shining lights are gonna show the path where the explosions are gonna be, and we're gonna have to do a bunch of stuff. So at the start here, she's gonna do 6 stack markers on different people. And these are in pairs of 2. So there's 3 different timers. There's 9, 28, and 37. And for now, I'll just show this no flex example. So just for now, disregard. You can kind of forget about the timers. Just know that there's 3 different moments where we have to be stacked in light parties. And for this, we're doing supports in one side and DPS in the other, okay? So at the start, we're gonna make what we call the box, which is basically make a little box facing the boss where the melees and things are in front and it's arranged a little further in the back and to the right and to the left. And we can stay in kind of this formation, in this position, while the stack is going off. So right here, she's gonna do Spirit Taker. Spirit Taker is when she jumps on a random person, and anyone that gets caught on the point where she lands, that's not the person she jumped on, is going to get knocked into the wall. So right here, when you see this 1 disappear, right here on 0, we need to spread, okay? So for the spreads, just know that you're gonna be like making the box with your group, and you wanna, if you're in a melee spot, you're gonna go a little bit forward and north or south, and if you are in the range spot, a little bit backwards. You can go further back, that's fine. To the left and right. So you'll see here, we'll spread, and then she'll jump. Okay. While this is happening, the lights are gonna start happening. We're gonna call out two markers that are across from each other, okay? So this is what the first explosions are gonna look like. They're always gonna make like a little line, and we're always gonna be so like in this case, the markers that would be called here is A and C, and this threat we're doing is called fixed spots. So when we're spreading here, we're always going to be using the same relative spots when we are in the marker. So supports are going to take from the red and purple markers, and DPS are going to go on the blue or yellow markers. So let me just go through the spread spots real quick. So you can see here, it was called 1 and 3 and right. So you'll see that the melees are over here and the ranged are spreading towards the wall. This is like between the second and third tick on the wall, but you have kind of a lot of leeway. It's not too bad here to spread. I'll go through the melees in a bit, but the idea is that you're gonna watch on the ground here and you're gonna count 2 flashes, okay? So, or count 2 explosions, okay? So first explosion, and you probably want to press sprint right here if you're arranged. Second explosion. As soon as the second explosion happens, the movement you want to do is you want to go up to the line on the intercard. So you see this line over here where my cursor is. You want to go to the line, and then you're going to walk forward, and then you're going to stop in this circle, okay? You see this circle? You want to stop exactly on top of this circle. If you go too much forward, you might risk getting clipped by the stack on the other side, or if you have the stack clipping people from the other side. And if you're back here, you're going to get clipped by the next explosion. So you'll see the explosions are still going off, and we're standing on top of this circle here inside our hitbox. So a second stack is going to happen here, and then the tank is going to bait Darkest Dance, which is Gaia's going to jump on the furthest target. Tank is going to run. She's going to jump, and then we're going to position left and right butt cheek. So supports on the left butt cheek, DPS on the right butt cheek, and you're going to get knocked here. And right after you get knocked, you want to hold W and make your way to max melee on left and right to catch the last stacks here. Let me just go through the melee spots real quick. For the melees, one of you is going to always stay on the marker that's called. So here 1 and 3. So you can see the Dragoon here is on top of 3, a little bit to the right because right was called. And the middle, the center explosion, it stops on this line over here if you see my cursor. So you see it's happening right now. So yeah, this is the first explosion. Max melee here. So like if you stand on top of this like striped line thing, this is fine. And you have kind of a lot of space here to just be towards each other in this like pizza slice. Mm-hmm. So in this case, it was called 1 and 3 right. It could have been 1 and 3 left. If it was left, we would have this person here, which is like the flex melee spot. They would be on the left here. I think it's easier to have like one person always anchor and the other one always like either left or right, depending on what's called. And the left right is always facing towards the boss. Okay, for the movement on the melee, as soon as the second explosion happens, you wanna just hold W and go forward and stop on the same line. It's like really fast here, so as soon as the second one happens, you can kind of ignore the spreads going off. You're not gonna clip each other. Just pay attention to the white explosions, and then you just stack up. Mm-hmm. Any questions so far?
So I can run to whatever marker I'm flexing to, or the opposite one.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
As the bait, yeah. And the timing for the bait, let me just show you real quick.
Yeah.
It's the same timer as like the initial spread. When you see the 1 count to 0 here, this is when you want to start running. Or when you see this explosion here, is when you want to start running. Yeah. Okay. So what makes this hard or harder is that who the stacks go on is random. So if you remember our dear friend Pantocrator, we're gonna have a little prio system where if you have the same timer as someone else on your prio, you're gonna swap to the other side. Okay. So the way it's gonna work here is you'll see I'm on the Monk's POV. Monk here has 28, and Jen also has 28. So on the other group, we were manually marking the people that had to flex. I don't know if we want to do that. We would have to have like one person on the support and one person on the DPS assigned to mark. I could mark for the DPS, but not for the support. We don't need to do that, but if we want to, it's an option. We just do this, you'll see why. So right as we call for the flexes here at the start, they will swap spots for the box. So they just swap spots on the box. And then you're gonna do the spread positions. You're still on the like opposite side. And then for the fire spreads, you're gonna go back to your original group. So the DPS here is gonna cross over and go back to his side. And then after this, he's going to cross over and be on the other group for the stack. And now he's with the support group for the rest of the mechanic. So here he's gonna go left instead of right for the knockback. So the idea is that if you have to flex, you're gonna have to flex initially, spread, go back to your group, position for the spreads, and then go in. I think that was me. And then go back in and swap spots.
It was a bunch of people.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is just a bit of practice. We could like RP it for a little bit, but I think just having an idea of where to go for the initial spread position should be enough for now.
Thank you. I know how the things work. I'm gonna try calling out the spreads if possible. I don't think I can mark, but I can try and call out stuff at least.
Yeah, I could mark for the DPS, but I don't know if we would need to have one of the supports marking to make it work. But we don't need. It's just that you need to remember that if you swap, you need to go back and then you need to swap again and stay with the other group.
I think we just need to determine the actual flex prior because you didn't really talk about that yet. Like when we flex.
Sure. Yeah. So, think of it as a Panto creator, but instead of being on your light party, you are either all supports or DPS, and the prio is like right here. So this R2 here is Connie, and M1 here is Arthur. E1 is Jen. H2 is Randy.
So Connie will never flex.
Yeah, so Connie and Randy never flexes. Then, so Louis would flex for Randy if they have the same timer. John Doe would flex for any of the healers if they have the same timer as him. And Jen would flex for anyone with the same timer as she did. And same thing here for the DPS. Something that can happen is you can have a double swap where two people need to cross over and from each side. So yeah, it's just like Pentacrator, but instead of 1, 2, 3, and 4, you need to like look at the number and see that if you have the same like timer as someone in your group that you need to flex for, you're gonna just cross over to the other side. Any questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
I have one question. So I'm R2. When we're making the little triangle thing, will I always be the position that's further away from the white circle, or is it like absolute position?
So it's going to be so here in the raid plan, R2 is to the right, but since you're like left group, you can be on the left just to make it easier to remember. The idea is that we're always going to be, so me and you are always going to be at the wall in the marker that was called. So in this case, 1 and 3, we would be at 3, and we would position just like this. So I'm a little bit to the right, you're a little bit to the left. Usually between 2 and 3 is fine, but it's not very precise. So it's just always left of the marker that's called looking in. That's always where you're gonna be for the spread.
Okay. Got you.
No relative shenanigans.
Yeah.
What? No,
What?
you're the anchor. Oh, for the box. Yeah.
The bots on the thing also do the anchor thing, or do they do like absolute positioning?
No, for the box it's absolute positioning actually.
I mean the
Pretty sure
bots
it's not
on the sim for the like the spread at the wall.
Yeah, you're the always flex. Wait, where's the slide? So if this is the center of the arena, and Arthur, you would always be here, and I'm always here. So you're saying left, looking in? Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I guess we can roleplay it real quick, like making the box here. This is the boss. No, yeah, you would be on the support side, John Low.
So imagine that the boss is at A. The tanks will want to be like mirror what Arthur and Serp are doing here. You're basically you're the inner side of the box, and then the ranged are over.
Yeah.
Okay, so healers, do you got it? Yeah, just be a little closer. You want to be basically this distance that we have right here with the DPS. This is perfect. Any more further away than that, you might not hit everyone with the stack. But you also don't want to be like stacked on top of each other, just to make the spreading a little easier.
So Yeah, and assuming like now she casts Spirit Taker, then we just do this, but spread out a little bit. Like let's simulate the spreads real quick. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
And
we
just
can maybe-
real quick, yeah, go back to the squares. Yeah, I was gonna do that. So let's do here, for example. Swap spots, you two. Yeah. So let's say the stack happens here, and then we have to spread.
spread.
Yeah. So for this spread, remember if you crossed over, you spread on the same side where you crossed, and then after the spread happens is when you swap back to your groups.
And then yeah, let's assume B and C here are the safe spots for Apocalypse, with C being the DPS.
Mm-hmm.
We can
Oh, I see.
kinda
Yeah.
kinda like this. So I'm just putting this down to signify that
So John Lo, come back over here.
John Lo would come back over
No, over here.
like this.
So you'd be on the marker, and it's
Support groups. And then
Let's say it's right. It's
dodge
right.
in.
Yeah.
and then okay, let's assume now we dodge in for the light party stacks.
so Arthur and John Lo swap again,
Yep. We take the
Oh.
stacks.
Again, baits
and
to
then
jump,
this way.
Okay.
and then you go towards the boss. DPS
Yep.
right, supports left. Remember that John Lo is on the right and Arthur's on the left
Yeah.
because you're still swapped.
So John Lo,
Yeah.
swap again.
Yeah.
Yep.
You always swap for the stacks.
Yeah.
Always be swapped for the stacks.
So
And then you're gonna get bounced off, and then you wanna run back in. Dash. But if you dash, just make sure that you walk back so that you catch people without a gap closer.
Keep in mind after the spreads. So like, we spread and then we run back in. As soon as the stacks happen, stack in the very center because sometimes you guys might get clipped. And I'm running out. Stack center. As soon as the second stacks happen.
Yeah, that's just a safety thing. Don't need to worry too much about it, but once you get more comfortable, if you are... Basically, as the second stack happens, you move towards the center to make it a little more lenient for the tank that's baiting the jump, so that they don't clip someone else.
okay.